What's up, guys? Dr. Iceman here. Welcome to Iceman's Diablo 2 Research Institution. Welcome back. So what I decided to try today is a pair of Ethereal Death's Cleaver. Is that how you say it? Death Cleavers. And I'm going to put a Zadroot in each of these. So I think it's actually going to perform significantly better than the dual Head Striker build that I tested a few videos ago. So basically, both of these have a 66% chance of deadly strike. They just come with that, along with a very nice piercing of target defense. So that'll probably really help this build out, seeing how it does lack a bit on attack rating. But if this character were one level higher, it's 88 right now. If it were 89, High Lords, I believe, then would have a 34% deadly strike. In which case, every single hit would be a deadly strike. Because right now, yeah, I'm doing the math right. It equates to 99% deadly strike in total per hit. Because they don't stack from one weapon to the other weapon, alright? You need off-weapon gear for it to be added to your deadly strike if you want it. Oh! Hold up. I am maxed out. I am maxed out at deadly strike. I'm quite beyond it, in fact. I'm at 114% chance of deadly strike per arm, I believe. So that's fine. I could actually get rid of this amulet, maybe, and put on Angelics and sacrifice a little bit of deadly strike, but that's fine. I think this will be a better method, so let's see what it does. So I have Ariettes. I don't really need the Charm in it, but I have it in there anyway for now. Fortitude, Laying of Hands gloves, Mantled Heal, because I needed Mana Leech somewhere, and this is an easy way to get it. String of Ears belt for some added Life Leech, DR and other stuff. Ravenfrost, I just needed a very high AR ring basically, and this is it. And then I have those boots. But this weapon is an absolute hog. And I believe it's worth more ethereal than it is non-ethereal. For obvious reasons, man. This thing, it hits like a truck, okay? And it has more deadly strike than grief, to quite an extent. You know, 3 times more the deadly strike than a grief. But of course, grief is still better, because that's just Diablo 2. In its current iteration in Diablo 2 Resurrected anyway. His grief is just pretty much better than everything. But I'm kind of testing things out here, getting a feel for how things go, alright? So let's see how well this pairs with something like Whirlwind. Now I could have 1 point into Frenzy, although I don't. I never put a point into Frenzy. This is actually hitting quite frequently. Against things like Undead, it's not really going to shine. I don't have any added undead damage. Or added demon. I do have added demon. In fact, I have a lot of added demon damage right there. So let me go to the Frigid Highlands and let's see how well it performs there. I didn't quite realize it, but I do have to save my homie. So I'm going to go do that real quick. He's just blowing through all this shit. I'm really curious to see how well this performs in the Chaos Sanctuary. That's actually another one that I want to try, is the unique Tomahawk, rather, Razor's Edge. Razor's Edge is very nice. It does a lot of damage, man, and I love me a nice Tomahawk. So I do intend to make a video on that, alright? Give me a hell yeah in the comments below if you guys want to see that. I know some of you guys want to see it. A very small portion of it, but nonetheless, yeah, some of you want to see that video, right? Dual Razor's Edge, ethereal ones with Zod runes in them and shit. It's gonna be awesome. Because Razor's Edge is like the little brother of Death's Cleaver, basically. Death Cleaver? Yeah, Death Cleaver. Alright, so let me go to the Frigid Highlands and let's see how well it performs there. Yep! Get it done! Let it do! Oh my god! That's not bad. This is better than a lot of things that I've tested. I mean, shit. This might be better than Breath of the Dying. It has a lot of deadly strike, whereas BOTD has none. Really, the damage isn't too much, is it? Okay, the damage is a little different. Yeah, Breath of the Dying, you're getting more damage. Not counting the Deadly Strike, of course. But BOTD does have the nice undead damage. And other very nice mods as well. This isn't half bad, man. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So let me try the Chaos Sanctuary now. Let's see how well it fares there. So here's a Breath of the Dying Colossus. How do you say? Let me know in the comments below. Colossus. 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 Colossus Blade. Colossus Blade. How do you say? Let me know in the comments below. This is a Breath of the Dying Colossus Blade. That was like something in between. Maybe that's how you say it. Let me know in the comments below. But nonetheless, as you can see here, the one-hand damage, and this is somewhat comparable to a Berserker Axe. You're going to get slightly higher damage on a Berserker Axe, but not by much. So this one gives 166 to 436, whereas this one gives 136 to 402. With 280% enhanced damage. So you get a lot more enhanced damage, basically, with the Breath of the Dying. But, they both have quality mods. Obviously, the BOTD in general is going to be the better way to go. Alright, I'm just splitting hairs here, trying to figure out if there's anything worthwhile even considering over the select few endgame rune words, which there really isn't. But I'm just wondering what comes close, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of establishing here what comes close. And as expected, this comes close comparatively to other shitty uniques, basically. So I'm going to make my way to the Chaos Sanctuary, and let's see how well it does there. Let's see how well it does. Not bad against the undead, even considering how there's no added undead damage. Yeah, it's really killing the undead here quite well. These aren't very high HP undead, to my understanding. Especially these guys. The Stormcasters have very low HP. The Venom Lords have a lot of HP, so it's a good thing that I do have on Laying of Hands gloves. This is actually a pretty nice combo. And if I could, I would probably put a point into Frenzy. I might have to respec this character, because there's the stats that I have going on right now. I maxed Sword and Axe Mastery, just for showcase purposes. Because sometimes I mix and match, or I just switch between anyway, and I don't really want to have to constantly respec. So really, I mean, in this build, I could max Frenzy. Not including its synergies, but I could have Frenzy maxed over an additional Mastery, which is kind of ridiculous. Just for testing purposes. But, yeah, with just Whirlwind maxed out, and Berserk is an awesome skill. So I do have Weaken on right now. Now Decrepify. So my damage is slightly nerfed from those. But once those go away, I'll be able to see how... There we go. There's the Berserk damage. 5,500 Berserk damage, max. And you're doing that, of course, with just one hand. So you want to have your higher damage weapon in general in that hand. But this, with Fortitude, it's not bad. Yep, this is probably... This might be the best one that I've tried so far. The best combination outside of things like Death, Grief, and Breath of the Dying. I don't think I've tried Last Wish yet, which I do intend to try. So stay tuned for those videos. Become a channel member if you want to support me, or a patron. Blessings to you guys. Blessings to my channel members. And blessings to my patrons. And may peace be with you. So thank you guys for your support. Links in the description below. But what do you guys think about this build compared to the other things that I've experimented with thus far? I do want to try the Razor's Edge. And, maybe a couple other things. I want to try the Grandfather, even though it sucks ass. But it's just an awesome sword. Thematically, it's an awesome sword because it has lore in Diablo. It's a Diablo 1 item, as well as Doombringer. It's unfortunate that they really suck ass here. But that's just how things are for now. Maybe they'll change that. I think they should add some item depth. Like how PD2 has the slamming of items, or I don't know, do something. Maybe just buff some of the uniques. Maybe make things like Ethereal's Might and the Grandfather be usable at least. I don't know. Do you guys think that those items should be usable? Let me know in the comments. Because right now it's pretty sad. And this is expensive. You know, this requires a Zod rune and a very expensive base Death Cleaver, because the Ethereal ones are rather expensive. So if you're already going this far, you might as well make a Breath of the Dying, you know? To my understanding, Zod in general is not worth a low rune in trade. In fact, maybe 2 Zods will get a low rune. So maybe, fortunately, at least I can't say, it's fair to say you could have a grief over this, but you could quite easily have a Breath of the Dying with this same currency. So why the hell would you make a Death Cleaver over that? Let's see how well we can take down Diablo. Actually, I think I'm lacking some in Crushing Blow with this setup. That's actually a pretty quick kill. Yeah, that's a fast kill compared to what I've been doing lately. So, just for the hell of it, I kind of want to try this combo. That's actually a great way to test the damage difference right there. And it did buff some of the damage on the Death Cleaver as well. Because the fact that Breath of the Dying gives 30 to all attributes, so the strength should be boosting that right there. So this might be a nice setup. Let's see how well this fares, seeing how I have both Sword and Axe Mastery maxed out. I can test this out. So one thing going on here is it looks kind of cool. I feel like this is the traditional archetype of a barbarian. He's wielding an axe in one hand and a sword in the other. This is like Conan the Barbarian shit or something. So I almost wish they would merge the masteries so we would see stuff like this in the ladder. But what do you guys think about something like that? I just like the idea of being able to mix and match, as some of you might have established by now after watching all these videos. I love mixing and matching shit. So I'd love to have like a sword and a club, or an axe and a club for some undead damage. And just the cool combinations you can make while going through the spiritual journey of going through this game, solo or something like that. Where maybe you'll find a freaking Nord's Tenderizer, and for once somebody would use the damn thing. Along with, say, the unique Gladius, or something like that, or Doombringer for that matter. Just awesome combos like that. I think that would be interesting if they merge the masteries. I don't know why the hell they just don't do that. Like have, I mean, shit, have, well, I think it would be cool if they merge all 3. Maybe one hand, no, don't do that, because I like being able to mix and match the 2-handers with the 1-handers. So don't give us like a 2-handed and a 1-handed master. I don't like that bullshit. But give us like a sharp, now I'm just basically copying PD2, something along the lines of a sharp weapon mastery, although that wouldn't include clubs then. But I don't know, I'm not a game designer, you know what I mean? But I think many of these options would be better than what we have. I just want to be able to use an axe in one hand and a sword in another without making any sacrifices. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. But this, I think, is going to be somewhat similar. I mean, shit, I might be doing less damage, because I'm doing far less deadly strikes now with the Breath of the Dying. But overall, my damage is boosted a little bit, so it's kind of a hard thing to determine. If, let's see what the deadly strike is on paper here. This is a nice feature that they added. That was a good idea. I'm glad that they used their heads for this. To give us, you know, to actually put the numbers down somewhere so we can see the stats. You know, that's a good idea, right? Let's see the stats of our character while playing a video game. So that's a good move that Vicarious Visions did. You got to give credit where credit's due. So 114 deadly strike in total, but unfortunately, that's not applying to this hand, which is strange actually. How, you know, it looks like they need to improve upon this a little bit. They need to think through this shit. Maybe use their heads just a little bit more, and have like a right hand deadly strike and left hand deadly strike, and the same thing with all this other bullshit. So but they get credit for trying, you know. They get credit for trying to do the right thing. So good job, Vicarious Visions. Blessings to you in that regard. So really, I don't know, maybe two death cleavers is better than this. I mean, this looks awesome. And I'm actually leeching a hell of a lot more. I might be hitting more. I don't know. I'm going to try the cast for just a moment. So let's see how well you can perform here. Of course, I forgot about the undead damage that you get from BOTD. Really, this might be a better combo. Well, it probably is, overall, because it seems like, in general, Breath of the Dying would be better than this Ethereal Death Cleaver. So now I'm getting some undead damage on the offhand, which is Breath of the Dying. Of course, that undead damage, again, does not translate over to the Death Cleaver. But, I mean, really, this is kicking ass. Because there's really pros and cons to each. But, I mean, would two Breath of the Dyings fare better than this combo? It probably would, but is there a chance it wouldn't? Is there a chance this is better than two Breath of the Dyings? Because what you gain with BOTD, of course, is the undead damage and some just quality of life stats. I mean, some very nice leech. The damage to undead, which is offensive as well. But then with the Death Cleaver, you gain the a massive deadly strike in that hand. This is a tough thing to weigh, man. I mean, I kind of like this combo. Look at that. Chilling armor. Nice effects. Just blasting the little ice bolts all over the place. Dio ran out. Damn. There's a lot of damage with a Berserk. A lot of damage there. Berserk is an awesome skill. Really kicks ass. But what do you guys think? What do you speculate would be the best combo? When it comes to this whole Death Cleaver and Breath of the Dying thing. Would you just be better off just having twin Breath of the Dyings? It's kind of what I'm wondering here. I mean, the stats are amazing. You're going to be leeching like a freaking hog. It's just not fair. Of course, there are better weapons. The Death Runeward, for example, will, in most situations, will most likely do more damage than the BOTD. You got to check your breakpoints, though. And Grief as well. You got to check your breakpoints. Because the hits per second are what really are what is counting here. You know? And I'm not sure how that works with Whirlwind entirely. It used to be that you have to have your faster attacking weapon in the main hand. But I feel like that's not the case anymore. And do they add together with Whirlwind? I just don't know the answers to this shit, but I'm trying to be honest with you guys. So let me know in the comments if you guys have an answer to that. Does the right-hand weapon IS, when it comes to Whirlwind, do they just add together or some shit? Or how does that even work? I feel like maybe the Death's Cleavers were actually performing better with the general DPS output. I mean, deadly striking every single time is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Not even death can save you from me.
Doing double damage every single time. Of course, you're still doing it a lot with Breath of the Dying here. You're doing it the 33 on the amulet and the 15 on the boots. So 48 in total. Still under 50. That's the deadly strike you get with Breath of the Dying. Under 50%. So, but then you're doing 100% on the other side. So, I very well could have been doing more on average DPS, even in a place like the Chaos Sanctuary with much undead. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace be with you.